60% people in the world today are narcissists.
Wow.
And they are there so that we can grow.
What kind of relationships are there when it comes to narcissism?
They are so badly battered and damaged. They are traumatized. Getting a divorce from a narcissistic person is highly challenging. For a narcissist, everything is a game. He has to win, she has to win everything. They will use their own children for their own need. I know of people who have destroyed that one child so much that he's not even capable of earning his own living. They destroy that child so much.
Who are warriors in your eyes?
Anyone who has the courage to start moving on.
How much self-love would be important while doing EFT?
That's a difficult thing to answer because they don't go to psychologists themselves.
Is it sometimes good to be narcissist?
This again I'll answer two ways. One is
#1 spirituality and lifestyle podcast.
Kabir
Vani.
Kabir Vani
Kabir Vani. Amazing people like Kabir Vani.
Welcome to Kabir Vani. You know, there are some wounds that we cannot see, but it affects everything. Especially when you actually come out of a toxic or narcissist relationship. Now, what exactly is narcissism? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. Maybe you're in one of the relationships, or maybe you have come out of one of those relationships. Now, narcissism is not only about being with someone who's your spouse or partner. It can also be your parent, your friend, sibling, or boss. Well, are you in one of those things? It affects everything. It affects how you love, how you care, self-love, self-doubts, everything comes from this one bad experience of your life. In this episode today, I have with us Seema Gorowara. She is a certified EFT practitioner and a trainer who helps you come out of emotional pains, bad past, any kind of narcissist relationship that you guys were into. If you're in pain, she can help. And it's so simple techniques that she has that she can help you with it. You won't believe it. Why don't you go ahead and watch this podcast all the way till the end? Even if you're sad, I promise, by the time end of this podcast, this one technique that we have done, we follow this and your feelings of that sadness is going to lower down. That's my promise to you. Make sure you go ahead and stick all the way till the end, and I'll see you at the end. Welcome Seema ji to Kabir Vani podcast.
thank you. Thank you so
आप
much.
दिल्ली से all the way मुंबई आए हो आज हमारे साथ, just so you can share your knowledge for EFT and how you got into this particular technique to help people out. Let's start by knowing your journey, because they say you have to go through a lot of trauma to become a healer.
Perhaps
Is that
yes.
true?
It could be.
Tell me your journey, how you got into EFT and what made you choose this particular technique over there so many out there.
Okay, I started my journey on emotional techniques like everyone does with Reiki. I started in 2000 and after that I did a lot of stuff. I did Melchizedek symbols, I did family constellations, I did, you name it, and I think I did a lot of stuff. But everything helped me up to a certain extent, and beyond that I hit a dead end. That's when, and perhaps I was also not ready for the journey. When my father passed away in 2019, December, I was completely shattered. He was my only support system. And he, financial as well as emotional, as well as any which way. And when he passed away, I said, now I need something. And after that, my divorce proceedings also started. So it was one after the other. That is when I'd met this lady at my cousin's place. My cousin had said that, okay, his friend is coming from Sweden and she does something and you come here and we'll meet. I said, okay. So I met Shirin at his place, at my cousin Sanjeev's place, and she did something, some EFT, something she did. And she's told me to follow a few links and all that. I did, and then I forgot about it. Then when all this happened in my life, it struck that, okay, someone mentioned EFT. Let me ask her, when is she doing her next course? So I must have contacted her in April 2021, in March 2021, end March, and her course was starting in the first week of April. So I joined, I learned it online, I repeated it online, did my certification online, and then when EFTMRA came to India, I connected with them took their certification as well, and wanted to become a trainer. And that's in my journey.
That's
And
how
I've
you-
never looked back. I tap every day, every single day.
Very nice. How does EFT help in certain way? What is EFT? What's the full form of EFT?
EFT is emotional freedom techniques.
Okay.
It's multiple techniques. So it's a little different from what people call tapping, just because tapping is what we see online in videos. They just show that, and some people even show this, so there is no tapping here, right?
Okay.
There's no meridian point here, but well, you see
So
it.
what are the points that you have?
We have, this is top of the head,
Okay.
which if we go from the ear here, it is here.
Okay.
Then it's beginning of the eyebrow, which is where your eyebrow begins, beginning of the eye. End of the eye is here where the bone, there's a bone here. Under the eye is here. Then you have under the nose, the chin point. The collarbone point is here where you have two depressions here. And under the arm is right here.
Okay.
And we have the wrist and the fingers. So these are our tapping points. And these are our energy meridian end points.
Okay.
So what happens is when we feel an emotional upset, it gets stored in our body. We all know emotions are stored in the body.
Yes, of course.
So as energy. So it creates blockages in the flow of energy. So energy does not flow smoothly when we have these emotional upsets stuck in our body.
Okay.
So when we tap, we release those upsets. It's something like, it's the acupuncture without the needles.
Right. Correct. I was gonna ask you, is it something similar? Sounds similar to acupuncture.
Yeah, it's acupuncture without the needles. So we just use our fingertips and we tap.
Okay.
And we release the negative emotions that were stuck. And that is why after a tapping session, you will feel very light, you will feel very relaxed. And at times when people release a lot of stuff, they even feel very sleepy.
Okay. Is it? So now how does this, is it just you have to just tap, that's it? Or is it like some affirmations that you have to say?
We don't say affirmations because affirmations will land only when you remove the junk that is there accumulated in your body.
Okay.
That is why you hear people say that we've been writing these affirmations for months, but nothing seems to move. Unless you remove the, sorry to use the word crap, but the crap that is stored in your body, all the negative emotions that are stored in your body, there is no space for the affirmation to land. So we have a tapping sequence where we start from, this is called the karate chop point,
Okay.
or also the friendly spot, because we make friends with this.
Correct.
So this is where we start. And we start with something called a setup, which
So
is
start with, call it
something called setup.
setup. Okay.
Even though I have this problem,
Okay.
I love and accept myself completely and totally, or I accept myself if I can't love myself. We have variations. So we first accept that I have a problem. Most of the times we don't even accept that we have a problem. I'm angry. Who says I'm angry? I'm not angry. Right? From our very childhood, we have been taught not to feel our feelings.
Correct.
If today, like my father was in a transferable job, so when we got transferred from one city to the other city, we were leaving our friends behind. And when we left our friends behind, we would feel sad. But what would our parents say? No problems, you'll make new friends in the new school. You're going to a new school. So the message was, there's no need to feel sad. Don't feel your feelings. So that's how we've all grown up.
So it's like something instilled in you since you were a child.
With all of us.
You know, it's not something which has been recently.
No.
It's always been there. It's just we've not been able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we accept our feeling. Even though I'm feeling so sad, I love and accept myself.
Okay. Okay. So you're acknowledging your negativity.
Yes.
That there is something there.
Yes.
But then you're letting your energies know that, you know what, I'm accepting it and I'm okay with it.
Yes.
Okay. So, but then isn't that like, so when you're accepting it, isn't that like storing it consistently, not letting it out?
No. I accept myself with or without the problem.
Okay.
So then this is just a setup.
Okay.
Then I go to these points. These are where I use my reminder phrase.
Okay.
This sadness in my body. So when I repeat it, I'm not affirming it, I'm letting it go from my body.
Okay.
It's anti the affirmations.
Okay.
So I will say my deepest fears. I'm so angry with him. How dare he do this to me?
Okay.
He had no business to say this to me. So we do all of that. And then you automatically see it all leave.
Okay.
But this anger is not serving me. It's not serving anyone. Time for me to let it go.
Okay. So you're starting on the top. and you're affirming for what you have, and then eventually when you're
Acknowledging.
going on, then you're saying it's not helping me, it's not helping anyone else.
Yeah, it's we acknowledge the problem, we accept the problem, and then we let it go.
Okay.
Gently let it go,
Okay.
and
So
then
acknowledge, accept, and let go.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
what's
then
now?
if you want, you can use affirmations. Otherwise, you don't even need them.
Okay.
We
so-
don't end with affirmations
Okay,
sometimes.
okay.
Most of the times we don't.
Hmm.
Sometimes we do.
Okay. So is this something that a person has to consistently do every single day of their lives?
I would recommend.
You would recommend. But you know, when we're talking about this, so you're saying that you're acknowledging the fear that a person has. Many people has very bad, karmas or very bad scenarios that they have been through in their life.
Yes.
Some people have, sexual assaults on them, sexual harassments, abuse, physical harassment, physical abuse, mental torture. They're got in relationship with some narcissist person. That's also one of the biggest thing which will come on to later. If I'm gonna consistently acknowledge it, will that not affect my thought process? But if because I'm acknowledging it, right? So is that not going to like put me into the lower frequency zone?
No.
Or put me into harm's way?
No. If you look at the frequencies, definitely shame is the lowest. It vibrates at 20.
Yeah.
After that, you have fear, anger, and the other emotions. That's why you're so heavy when you are in lower emotions.
Right.
The lower frequency
Lower
emotions.
frequency zones. Yeah.
Yeah. So love is at 500.
Okay.
And after that, you have all the gratitude and the others.
Correct.
When we tap on fear or guilt or anger, we are tapping it out. This guilt, I feel so guilty. We are tapping it out we are acknowledging the guilt. I feel so guilty. And most of the times when you feel the feeling, half of it goes automatically.
Okay.
Because we do not feel our feelings. That's why they are stored in the body.
We suppress it all the time.
Yes.
That's
You
what
see a herd of animals in the jungle. When a tiger attacks them or it attacks one of them, the others shake themselves. They remove that emotion and they move on. But we don't do anything like that.
Right.
We are told store. Men don't cry. So men store their emotions inside.
Correct.
You're not a child. Why are you crying like this? So store it inside. So you keep storing it inside, and then after that it becomes a physical issue for you.
So it's because we are suppressing it.
Yes.
It's becoming more powerful towards us. But when we are
It is-
feeling it, we're letting it go.
Yes.
It becomes easier for the feelings to go away. It's
Yes,
like
and
how
you
you said,
feel
shaking
lighter.
it out. You feel
You're
light.
lighter. And the emotion that you felt we also grade the emotion when we start. Okay, if you're suppose angry or you're scared, there's fear. On a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is it? We grade it when we start. It could be at a 10. Then when we check again, we test it after the sequence, you could feel it at a 4 or a 5. It could even go down to a 0.
Okay. It's in one tapping session you're talking about.
Yes.
Wow.
Multiple emotions go to 0, not 1.
Okay, just not one. Okay.
Because anger, when you're tapping on anger, anger could go down, sadness could come up,
Correct.
and that could go down, something else could come up. So one particular, if I may say, session, you're not dealing with one emotion.
Okay, you're dealing with multiple.
There could be multiple emotions that come up.
Okay. And how long a person need to tap?
Every day?
Every day, but how long? Like amount of time?
I would say at least 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay. And then they can so how you said that they're acknowledging it. So how many times do they have to tap?
7 times.
7 times.
But they don't need to count.
Okay.
As long as a reminder phrase lasts. This anger, this sadness, this guilt, this fear.
Okay. So as soon as you start feeling calm, you can stop?
After a few rounds, we check. Okay, so where is it? Am I feeling guilty now? No, guilt has gone down, but something else has come up. So what is that something else that has come up? There are times when while tapping, the person says, it was a 4, but now it's an 8.
Okay.
So then we say, okay, are you with the same emotion? Or is there some other emotion that has come up? So they say, no, the anger has gone down, but something else has come up to it.
Okay.
So that is how it works.
It works, okay. Now, going towards more of your own lifestyle that you have had. You were a practitioner yourself,
Yes.
and now you've become a trainer.
Yeah.
How are you planning to train people in some sort of, on a larger scale? Because are you doing offline events? You're doing online events. How is it that you feel that works better for people?
See, the goal of EFT-MRA India is to take EFT to every household. They're going to schools, we are going to colleges, we are doing it everywhere.
Okay.
Now, what I'm doing with EFT-MRA India is that I have a tapathon every Wednesday from 7 to 8. There could be, we introduce EFT, we take questions, and we show them the tapping points and we tap with them. It could be a group tapping, it could be just a group leading them on something.
Okay.
So that is what we do every Wednesday. That is a tapathon by Seema Gorowara. That's what I do. Then every quarter I do a training, which is an offline. EFTMRA, we always do offline trainings. We don't have online trainings. So we have offline trainings for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where we teach each technique.
Okay.
The techniques are for memories. We have different techniques for memory resolution. Because when you are tapping, of course, a memory will come up.
Correct.
Right? You felt the fear. Now, where did the fear come from? It came from somewhere.
Correct.
So that is the memory we need to resolve, to let the fear go. So that technique is different. When we try to dig up memories, that technique is different. Then, like you said, the capital T traumas, the sexual assault, the physical assault, all that is gentle techniques we have for all of that.
Okay.
So when we resolve for different issues, we have different techniques.
Okay.
So we teach all of this over 3 days.
Okay.
We teach you how to resolve your issues. We teach you how to, in the end, in fact, the last day, we also get you to do a session on each other.
Okay.
So that by the end of the day, you can take a session and you can give a session. It involves
Okay, so it's like you can kind of start being a healer yourself. Is
yes,
that possible?
because after taking an online exam, you become a practitioner yourself.
Very nice. Okay.
And
so you can be and feel one of the healers. Do you have a story where you would have used EFT to help someone come out of the crazy trauma out there?
Yes, many.
Please share one.
There was this one was, of course, not a crazy trauma, but egg. She would feel queasy after seeing an egg. She couldn't eat eggs.
Okay.
And she was going to Europe for some work, and she had to get rid of that allergy or that reaction.
So was she originally non-vegetarian?
Yes.
Oh, she cannot just eat eggs.
Yeah. So then we found a memory in the childhood where something happened with the egg. So we resolved that memory and she can eat eggs. You can see this review actually on my EFTMRA website.
How crazy is that? So what exactly did you do there?
There we went to the memory where I said, could you eat eggs earlier? Or was it only now that is it now only that you're not able to eat eggs? She said, I could always eat eggs, but I stopped eating at this age. Then we have a technique called follow the energy. So we said, okay, let's go back. What was happening then? So we dug up a memory and then we resolved that memory. Once we resolved that memory, there was nothing in that memory. Actually, what happens with children is when we encounter danger, suppose a tiger comes in, we have primary three responses. We either fight, we flee, or we freeze. With a child, age 0 to 7, the person has only one option to freeze. They can't fight, they can't flee. So they freeze. So whenever they freeze, those are the moments we go to.
Okay.
And those are the moments we resolve.
Fair enough. So let me ask you one thing. I want to ask you for a technique for someone maybe who's dealing with sadness.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe they went through an emotional breakup. Okay, and they want to come out of it. They know the relationship is now over. They won't be able to go back to it. They have to move on, but they're unable to move on.
Yeah.
What is the technique that you would teach them? And I want you to give a proper technique here. Okay, so they can utilize it for our viewers.
Okay.
That they can use.
Yeah.
And by the time they do this, and while they're watching this podcast, they can do this.
Yeah.
And by the time the podcast ends, they'll feel much better.
Okay. So I'll take you through a tapping sequence of sadness.
Okay.
So what I will tell them to do is close your eyes.
Okay.
Feel
so I'll follow this. Okay.
Yeah, please do it.
All right.
Close your eyes. And if it is sadness that you feel for anything, it could be anything.
Okay.
Just feel it in your body. Where do you feel the sadness in your body? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your heart? Is it in your head? It could be anywhere else also. Where do you feel it?
So I'm not feeling sadness right now.
Okay,
So
any
I'm not
other
able
emotion?
to.
Any other emotion, the sequence would be the same.
No, I don't know.
Overwhelm, stress, fear,
Overwhelm a little bit.
overwhelm.
Okay.
So let me work with overwhelm
Let's
for you.
do
They
overwhelm.
can replace overwhelm with sadness.
Sadness. Okay, fair.
Okay.
Okay. So,
So where do you feel the overwhelm in your body?
in my heart.
Okay. What is the color?
I would say the color is brownish.
Okay. What is the shape?
Brown?
Round. Does it have any weight? Is it heavy? Is it light?
Yeah, it's a bit heavy.
Hot, cold?
Warm.
Warm. Okay. Does it have any vibration, sound, or smell?
No, slight vibration maybe.
Light vibration. Okay. And on a scale of 0 to 10, how intense is it?
5.
5. Okay. This is one example of telling you that emotions are stored in the body. So see, this is how overwhelm is stored in your body.
Okay.
So we start with tapping here. You can tap with me.
Tap it here. Okay.
Even though I am so overwhelmed,
I'm so overwhelmed.
we will intensify the emotion first.
Okay.
I love and accept myself just the way I am.
I love and accept myself just the way I am.
Are you okay to love yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, if viewers are not able to love themselves, they can say, I accept myself or
Okay.
the way I am. Yeah. Or I accept the situation if they cannot even accept themselves. Okay. Even though I'm so overwhelmed, I accept myself.
I accept myself.
Even though I'm so overwhelmed, I totally and completely accept myself.
I totally and completely accept myself.
This overwhelm,
This overwhelm,
this overwhelm,
this overwhelm,
this brown overwhelm in my heart,
this brown overwhelm over my heart.
it's heavy,
It's heavy.
it's warm,
It's warm.
it's round,
It's round.
it's there.
It's there.
It's an overwhelm.
It's an overwhelm. Okay.
I feel overwhelmed.
I feel overwhelmed.
I feel so overwhelmed.
I feel so overwhelmed.
I feel overwhelmed at the level of 5.
I feel overwhelmed
At the level of 5.
at level of 5. Okay.
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed.
I'm so overwhelmed.
I'm so overwhelmed.
Tune into that again. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Where is the emotion now? How high is it now?
I actually don't feel it. That's surprising. I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
This is
I
how
actually
it
feel
works.
lighter. I actually feel lighter.
This is how
That's
it
true.
works.
Okay, let me just emphasize myself. Wait. Yeah, actually, I do feel lighter. That's surprising. Wow, great.
And if it would have gone down, I would have taken you through another round.
Okay,
And if the viewers feel it has not gone down, repeat this again.
okay.
It could have also shifted somewhere else. Now it is in the heart, it could have gone somewhere else. So just see what it feels like. Is it red? Is it brown? The color could have changed. The shape could have changed. The emotion could have changed. So start tapping again.
Very nice. Very nice. I like that because within the fraction of seconds,
Yeah.
I could feel much lighter.
You do.
And when I actually went back inside, I kind of felt, okay, you know what, I feel much lighter.
Yes.
I feel much lighter. Yeah, that's true. Because the reason that I spoke about overwhelm is because there's a lot of things happening as of right now for me. You know, the month is very happening. There's something coming up which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things going on in my plate which I need to checklist. I felt this morning I was like, you know, it's a very overwhelming feeling today. And hence I'm glad that we used it.
Use it whenever you want to.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful to you. I would like to ask you this.
Yeah.
You know, earlier we spoke about the relationships, how you mentioned. A lot of time what happens is that, you know, most of the emotions that we have are instilled into us since childhood.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to go to school. You have to do this. You have to do that. It has to be done this way. Or, you know, adding limiting beliefs. You know, you cannot ever do this. I don't know if this child would ever do anything. You know,
Yes.
somehow, some way, although parents are talking about that, it's kind of instilled into us. While growing up, we eventually tend to find partners. You know, and many times we end up with a person who is a big narcissist. Right?
Yes.
First of all, before we get into the narcissism, I want to ask you, what exactly is narcissism?
Narcissism is a trait in your personality. It is something like, this guy is very angry. This guy is very loud. That is what narcissism is.
Okay.
And this is a personality trait that does not change. And they are people who lack empathy. They are entitled. It's their way or the highway. And at times they can be sadistic as well. And they go through that cycle of, with their victims, they go through an entire cycle of, starts with love bombing, then devaluing, discarding, then they hoover you back in the moment they see you leaving. They suck you back in. And then that love bombing state starts again. And that is when the person who is so-called the victim, I don't like the word victim, but the person who is the target of the narcissist, he will always feel a lot of doubt. He starts doubting himself and his abilities, himself, herself. He starts doubting their own judgment, their own abilities, because I thought this person was not nice, but see, he's so nice today.
And they talk about the victims feeling that way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and why, unfortunately or fortunately, I've had a lot of narcissistic clients, narcissistic abuse clients, the warriors of the narcissistic abuse. And they come to me, and the best sentence they can say to me is, you listen to us and you understand what we are saying. Others don't.
I know.
It's one lady who told me that after living with a narcissist, the tendency is that you become very, very argumentative. Because you're always trying to prove your point. You're always trying to prove yourself. So even when there is nothing to prove, you're trying to prove.
Trying to prove something.
So she said, I fought with a tailor, and he said, I couldn't give it to you today, but I'll give it to you tomorrow. She said, in earlier days, I would have said, okay, but I fought with him. And then I realized, why have I become so argumentative? And when I spoke to my family, they said, it happens. But you understood that this is coming from the time that I spent with the narcissist.
Spend with the person. Yeah. Yes. So you intend to adapt those qualities of that particular person.
No, it is your defense mechanism. Because you are a narcissistic person is always lying. They gaslight you.
Okay.
So today, have you seen that movie Gaslight? It's 1950s movie. It's a black and white movie. I would urge people to, but then they should tap or do something if they don't want to get triggered.
Okay.
It is destroying your reality.
Okay.
I'll say this is water. Okay.
Right.
It is water. You'll say, but this bottle is empty. And you'll make me believe this bottle is empty. That's when I start doubting myself. Okay. Did I see correctly, or was this person telling me the truth? So your confidence is shattered. When you end a relationship with a narcissist, you become so different that it is difficult for you to recognize yourself. If there are years that you've spent with a narcissist.
This sounds like more of a mental and physical, mental and emotional scars than a physical abuse.
No one can see your scars.
It's like worse than being a physical abuse, because at least physical abuse can heal.
And in narcissism, there is physical abuse at times.
Okay, that's
there is. Yes, because they are rage. They rage. It's not anger, it's rage, narcissistic rage.
Okay. So now, how do one person find that they have now married a narcissist person? Where a lot of times what happens is that, they're living into a relationship. They love them so much, right? So it doesn't matter what happens, whatever they say goes.
Yes. That happens with a narcissistic relationship.
So how can person realize that, okay, this relationship is not what they need to be in? And can they change out of it?
There are 2-3 things here. One, a narcissist, the person who's the victim of the narcissistic abuse, is the last person to know that they are the victims. Because they don't believe. They are inside the bottle. The label is outside the bottle. Everyone else can read it.
Okay.
Everyone will tell them that, look, you are not in the right relationship. You need to get out. But they will never believe. And forever they will try to, what can I do to make this person happy? How can I make this girl happy, this boy happy, whichever way. Narcissists are women and men both.
Of course.
So they spend their entire lives because they feel, what have I done? Whereas they had done nothing. And the other thing is, how to get to know is when you feel that you are always trying to prove yourself. They said something a few days ago and you tell them, okay, you said this. I never said it.
Mm.
You need proof all the time. See, you said this. And when you take the proof to them, then also they will turn it around and they'll gaslight you with that.
Okay.
So, now you're going to accumulate proof against me. You're going to go to the police. You're going to do something.
You're trying to put me down.
Yes. So anything you do is not good enough for them.
Okay. So so that's one type of, I feel, that people who are narcissists. But do people who are narcissists know that they are?
That's a difficult thing to answer because they don't go to psychologists themselves or to psychiatrists. They don't think there is anything wrong with them. That is why many psychologists do not agree with the term narcissistic personality disorder.
Okay.
Because if it is a disorder, then they are the ones who have to go to the psychologist. But it is their victims who go to the psychologist.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
Okay.
They feel there's nothing wrong with them.
But then at some point they might be feeling that, right? Because nevertheless seems like this is an energy which is at a lower level and it's just overpowering them, or they just feel that they are the world and they are the kings.
They have high levels of insecurity. They have abandonment issues.
Okay.
They are very scared of being abandoned. So that is why they need the clout.
Okay.
They need validation all the time. So that is their deepest fear.
Okay.
But they will not acknowledge, they will not accept, and they will just throw it out at you.
It's like how you say, my way or highway.
My way
Doesn't
or the
matter
highway.
that way.
No.
Okay.
And if you say something to them, they will do the exact opposite.
Is it so? Okay. Possible. All right. Now, how does one who's in this relationship ensure that they are keeping themselves emotionally stable and mentally safe?
They need to do work on themselves. Because one, they will get clarity about this relationship only when I would suggest tapping, because that is what has worked for me and my many clients. Tapping also gives you clarity. So if you tap, you know whether to stay or to go, what to do, because you have to answer those questions yourself.
Correct.
You and I can't suggest to a third person, oh, you are in this relationship, you need to leave. We are no one to suggest that. It has to come from within. And if they have to stay also, then they need their boundaries, because narcissists are very good at destroying your boundaries. They do not respect boundaries.
Okay.
And their feelings are always at a very superficial level. They're very superficial people.
Okay.
So that is why there is lack of intimacy here.
Okay.
It's a very superficial life they lead.
So that's how it comes across. Now, let's say, for example, a person knows they're into the relationship, like we spoke earlier. They know that they want to leave as well, but then they have a family, right? They have kids, they're living with their parents, or they're financially unstable, right? So how does a person deal in this kind of scenario? Because they have to save their people from the narcissist person in their family.
Yeah.
So how can they save themselves and their families?
The first thing I tell them is tap on yourself. When your energy changes, the energy around you changes. That is where we start. And as far as financial goes, narcissistic people ensure that you are financially destroyed. There's a lot of financial abuse involved in a narcissistic relationship because of that fear of abandonment.
Okay.
So that you don't leave, they make sure you don't have enough finances.
Okay.
So that is one way of control. Narcissists are heavy on control. So that is one. And one thing which I will suggest to them is do not engage with the narcissistic person. By engage, I mean is do not argue with them. Do not try to prove anything to them, because it's not going to matter. They're not going to hear you. So always answer in monosyllables. You want this? Okay. You do this? Fine. Just that much. While you strengthen yourself.
Okay.
While you're working on yourself, do that. Get your finances in order some way. If you can start working, do that. If you can, however, because you have a family. But always remember that narcissistic people also create a wedge between the children. They also, it's not only the partner that is harmed.
It's the kids.
It is the kids also. They don't, because you see, for them, no one can be better than them. If their child does better than them, they will have a problem with that.
Oh, so they will have the kids doing
their own children.
Oh, really?
Their own children cannot do better than them.
Okay.
I know of at least 2 people where the child was doing phenomenally well. Okay, the child is working now, has her own child, working in an MNC at a very senior level. But the control of the narcissist is such. All the identity proofs are with the parent.
Okay.
Will not give them. Because what if this person gets a passport made and takes her family abroad? This person himself has not gone abroad. How can I allow my daughter to do that?
Fair.
So it is a very different dynamic. They can, and that is control they have over you, your identity proofs. That is the control they have over you.
They have, yeah. And they're making you feel that you're not worth of it.
Yes,
and it's not
you don't deserve it.
That way. That you don't deserve it. It cannot happen to you. Why is it happening to you?
Yes.
It's like that.
Yes.
Or even if it's happening, they're probably trying to take the credit. It's because of me it's happening to you.
Yeah, and if the other parent also becomes an enabler, imagine that poor child.
It goes to trauma.
Yes. And if there are 2 children or more, what they do is, one child is a golden child. Okay, one child they will spoil rotten. Like, I know of people who have destroyed that one child so much that he's not even capable of earning his own living.
Okay.
They destroy that child so much. And the other child becomes either a scapegoat or is an invisible child. An invisible child means the person could have a bandage here. The mother can't see it.
Not see it. Understood.
She couldn't see it. She just couldn't see that the child is hurt and he's got a bandage from school. But that is how the
focus is not there with them.
That child is invisible to them. So even if this guy does anything wrong or this girl does anything wrong, that person is scolded. That person is the scapegoat. So what happens is, this child starts to feel guilty. It's my mistake, but still this person is being punished.
Understood.
This person starts becoming a people pleaser. I shouldn't do anything, otherwise the rage will come towards me.
Okay.
I have to please this person. My goodness, this is my primary caregiver. So there's a very bad, and this person feels if whatever this person does, I'm the person who's getting scolded all the time.
Wow.
So there is a rift that starts getting created between the 2 children. So the parent who realizes that the other parent is a narcissist has to understand that, in our culture we say, for the sake of the children, we need to stay in the relationship. They need to see the damage it will cause. They need to weigh all their options and then take a very informed decision.
Correct.
They cannot.
You're talking about, so I think this is more, again, because like you said, in our culture, I think this more, we as Indians follow this.
Yes.
Whereas I think if you see in foreign countries, they take divorce very lightly.
Not as,
but still much lesser than what we do in India.
Yes.
Right. So if I've seen in foreign culture, if the 2 people are not getting along, they're okay to be divorced. The decision lies between the couple. I think what happens here in India is that the decision doesn't lie between the couples. The decision lies between the families. What will people say?
Yes.
What will others think about me? People will try to chew me down. People will try to put me down. That is one of the major reasons I think people don't opt for divorce when it comes to India, I feel. Please tell me what you think about that.
I'll tell you 2-3 things here. One, getting a divorce from a narcissistic person is highly, highly challenging.
Is it? Okay.
Because for a narcissist, everything is a game. He has to win, she has to win everything. The moment you ask for a divorce, it means they lost. They will never give it to you easily. You look at the messy divorces you have in the courts today. That's partly blamed on the narcissist. Because they will not let you go easy. I know of so many people where the children are involved. They do not let the children meet the other parent.
Agreed.
And when the children are small and you don't let them meet the other parent, you can feed them anything you want And then the child goes to the court and says, I don't want to live with you.
Correct, yeah.
It's done, you're gone.
Yeah.
So I've seen those kind of cases, because for them, children, they lack empathy even for their own children.
Correct.
They will use their own children for their own needs. So they are that damaging. That is one part. What was the other part you asked me?
The other part is because the divorce is more tabooed in India than in the Western cultures.
We always say, try to make it work, adjust, adjust. And people do not realize that this is not something like try to make it work. Because the narcissist gradually isolates you from everyone. That is also one of their tactics.
You lose your friends, you lose your family.
Some
You
way
don't know
or the
where to
other.
go.
You don't have any support system. Now you are in isolation. You are in a cage. So
You're
you
completely dependent on that person.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you start stepping out. You start meeting your friends. You start. It's a
But
little
then again, it becomes
tough
very
journey.
challenging, right?
It
So
is.
what you're saying at this point of time is that if the person is narcissist, and he or she knows that now he has started or she has started becoming friends with someone, started earning their own thing, will they not make their life much harder and
They could.
to kind of control them or not to live their life?
They also control the calls you make. They go through your phone records.
Yeah. Check your phones, check your messages.
Yes. They could have cameras in the house. I know of a person who had cameras installed in the house to see what the wife does while he's away at work. So, sorry.
It's okay. This is what it is. This is all it's all about, right?
Yeah. So that is
It's
what.
okay. I know you have not got that camera for me, my love. I completely trust you.
No, I meant very fast. That's right.
No, that's okay. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh,
Yes. Yay.
This is just so unfair.
Yeah. So they could have cameras installed in the house.
Right.
They could call you 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Like,
They can track your phone.
track your phone is very common.
Right.
So then they would say, okay, you cannot call up this person and you cannot call up that person. Don't talk to that person. Don't go to this particular function. I'm not going. How are you going? You had no business going. So they will isolate you completely.
Okay. So a person knows. See, I'll tell you what. Here's the scenario.
Okay, give me the situation.
Okay, I'll give you, perfect. I have a perfect scenario for you.
Okay, let's see.
There are two couple married, and let's say we'll call this
A and B.
A and B. Okay, and here we'll make a female narcissist. Why always male females? We'll blame a female for once.
Okay.
So we'll make a female narcissist. The guy is a good guy. He's doing everything that he can. He's doing his level best. They have two beautiful kids. Now he knows that he's stuck into this relationship.
Yeah.
He's not happy. He's not able to do anything. And we'll take it to the level where he already knows that he's married to a narcissist. It come to a point where they try to have the person tried to break a relationship, and she realized. Now, like you said, that she now has started taking him financially because she put him down, saying that, you have done this, you tried to break a relationship with me, and what will I do? I have two kids.
I'm not working.
No, she's working.
Okay.
But still, no, she's Ablanari. So, what will I do being a female? All these guys will try to come
She
me.
will not do that.
So, I'm saying, so she's putting him down.
She's manipulating him.
That's what I'm saying. So she's doing all that. He knows that she's doing that. So now she's like, if you want to be happy with your kids, you have to start paying me every month so that I feel safe. Now, guy starts doing this as well. Now, he doesn't want to. He has two beautiful girls. What does he do?
He first has to see what about the girls. Because by now, if the girls are a little older, the mother would have already fed a lot of nonsense against the against the father. If there is already a distance here and the girls do not regard, because I've seen relationships where the person is there for the children, the person is earning, but for him to go home is such a challenge because no one, including his own children, don't respect him, they don't respect anyone, by the way. They insult the other person. So they don't respect him. So if that is the case, then what is he doing anything for? Does he still need to remain in that relationship? He needs to ask himself.
But the guy would not be able to build up enough courage to now get out of that relationship. Because what happened here is that how you said that, they start putting you down, manipulating you so much.
Yes.
And
you doubt yourself all the time.
The person starts doubting yourself and comes into that zone where now you're like, oh my God, how can I even think about leaving her?
She's the only person who's there for me.
She's the only person. She stood by me when I needed her, and I have two girls with her, and I have all of those things. So the person is not thinking this way.
Yes.
Now he's disregarding everyone.
He needs to tap. He needs to tap out all this doubt, all the there will be a lot of grief also here.
I'm sure.
There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of self-blame. There would be multiple emotions, guilt, because they make you feel guilty for crimes that they have committed. So all of these emotions need to go. One at a time. Just work on yourself. You'll get clarity yourself.
Okay, so eventually you'll start knowing what you need to do. The person will figure out what they need to do.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Tapping brings a lot of clarity, because what is the fog in your head? The fog in your head is nothing but stuck emotions.
Correct.
Once those leave, you feel lighter. I can do this. And the solution you could get is something that you and I can't even think of.
Okay, so when you do start tapping, you're kind of releasing your inner griefs, inner moments, the steps that you have gone through to make life much easier. So universe itself gives you the answers. Okay, acha, aapko bhi ye karna hai. This is what you have to do. You go ahead.
Faith,
and it gives you the power
faith
to do it.
is required. Nothing can be done without faith in the divine.
But what if somebody doesn't believe in it, right? What if the person doesn't believe, what is all this bull crap?
Let them try.
Like how
even if you don't believe, you can tap.
Even if they don't believe, they tap.
It works for them. And it works.
Because many times when it comes to manifestation, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Like if you do not believe, then it's not going to work for you. For manifestation, you have to believe something.
Yes.
But I'm guessing because it's a good energy, it's better energy for you because you're attracting it. Here, because you're releasing it, so it doesn't matter if you believe or you don't.
Yeah, because you can feel the emotion and tap it out. So like you just said, suppose it's overwhelm. You just tap it. You don't need to say anything. You just
tap it out.
You tap it out. And
but what if they're not able to figure out what's wrong with it? Like how you helped me out. Some people I was okay for you to guide me.
Yeah.
Many people are not okay for them to be
many
guided.
Of them.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go to anyone. People might think I'm crazy. So they don't know they're not able to figure out their feelings. They're not able to figure out what they're going through. How can they tap? Or they just need to just tap blankly?
They can just tap without anything, set a timer.
They don't have to say anything, just tap.
Just tap, feel the feeling and tap it out.
Asha, feel the feeling. So if you're angry, feel the anger and tap.
You don't even need to feel it, because when you tap, it is getting released. It is going to come
out. Okay, so you just feel the feeling at that particular moment.
Yes.
And you tap and it really does work that way.
It works. I have tried it myself multiple times.
Cool. Now let me ask you this. There's relationships. Like we are speaking about being in a narcissist relationship. What's the difference between being in a narcissist relationship and being in a toxic relationship?
A toxic relationship will have one or two of the qualities that the traits, not the qualities of the narcissistic person. But a narcissistic person checks all the boxes. They will lack empathy. They are entitled. They will gaslight you. They will follow all narcissists, be it any kind, be it the covert, the overt, the grandiose narcissist, the communal narcissist. They'll all have the same cycle they will follow. The love bombing phase, then the devaluation, discarding, hoovering you back in. That is a cycle that is common to all of them.
Okay.
So a toxic person will be toxic in one area. He may just be angry all the time, but he may have a little empathy sometimes.
Okay.
But the
narcissist. What kind of relationships are there when it comes to narcissism?
Narcissism can be in any relationship. It could be in spouses. One of the spouses could be narcissist. There is rare, but it is true that both spouses can also be narcissists. Narcissists could marry narcissists. And then
there can actually be two narcissists.
Yes,
really?
yes.
Wow,
and
they would
then
make
God,
a perfect pair, no?
And then God forbid the victim. God save the victim.
Okay. It's like it's best, right? I'm like you do you, I do me, right?
I do me, but then the poor victim.
The kid becomes a victim there, I guess, right? Oh God, okay.
So God save them. So
yeah.
So it can be between spouses, parent, child. It can be between colleagues in the office, bosses, juniors. Any relationship, wherever two people can have a relationship. Friends.
Okay.
Friends can be narcissists. And they can gaslight you big time.
Really?
I work with someone who has friends like that.
Okay. That's crazy.
And the friends are all abroad. So it's like the moment the friends come to the country,
becomes crazy. Well, that's different. Nah? They also do not. I guess the narcissists would be the people they go to the airport and start getting an accent, right? That's how it works.
All are not the grandiose narcissists. You have all kinds. You have the grandiose narcissist, which is the proud peacock. Look at me, I'm here.
Yeah.
Then you'll have the covert narcissist, which is like, I am the victim.
Hmm.
It was their loss. They didn't employ me. It was not my loss.
Hmm.
So that is
Is
the
it sometimes good to be narcissist? Because some of those things may be good, right?
how.
So what would be okay? So how, the reason I said that is because you said that it's their loss that they did not hire me. It's not my loss. So technically, that's not a bad thing, right?
No,
It's
it
still
is.
a bad thing.
It still is, because they knew you were not good enough for them. Otherwise, why wouldn't they hire you?
Hmm.
There was something in you that was not good. Otherwise, today, if you come for an interview to me and I find you good enough, I will hire you. Why won't I hire you? And then if you go back and say, no, it was their loss and not mine, that means you're trying to put the blame on us. Narcissist doesn't take accountability at all.
Okay.
They will
So
put the
what
blame
would
on
be
everyone
the
else.
what would be the difference between a person who's actually a self-confident person and a narcissist?
A narcissist will blame everyone
Okay,
but
so
themselves.
he would blame the person.
He would blame the government, you name it, they'll blame everyone but themselves. They will never take blame for anything.
Okay.
Even if they are spouses, right? They go out for a cup of coffee just to talk it out. And the person says that, tell me, what should I do to solve this problem in our lives? And say, I don't think there is a problem. There's a problem with you.
Okay.
That is a narcissist.
It's like that.
They don't have a problem. it's the world.
So it's not my problem. It's
No.
your problem.
Everything is your problem.
So it's nothing. I have nothing.
I am perfect.
Okay. Fair enough. So that's what it is. It's all about them. It's more like being self-centered, self-sabotage, self-obsessed. You can call
It's
it
a
that
lot
way.
more than that.
Yeah,
I would be okay with a self-centered person, but not with a narcissist.
Not with a narcissist. Okay. Fair enough. You call your a group Narcissist Warriors.
Yeah.
Who are warriors in your eyes?
Anyone who has the courage to start moving on. Because when people are in narcissistic relationships, they are so badly battered and damaged. They are traumatized.
Okay.
If the relationship has gone on for years. I have seen people go through anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and all because of the other person.
I know what you mean.
So there is a lot of work. So anyone who decides to, okay, fine, even if I'm having these panic attacks, let me go to someone.
They're willing to take help. Are the warriors, that is.
Those are the people who will send you to psychologists. It's your problem, go to a psychologist. Whereas the root of the problem is right
them.
here.
It's gonna come right back. Oh, that's crazy. All right,
it's a very, very crazy dynamic.
It is. Sounds like it. We spoke. You spoke about the kids being raised by a narcissist. The parent is there. Now, one person is that way, the other person isn't. How can one parent being into this relationship can save their kids? What can they
By
do?
standing up for the kids.
Okay.
Standing up against the narcissist for the kids. Then the kids at least feel a little secure. I've seen both relationships. I've seen where the parent becomes an enabler for the narcissist and the poor child. That you see, the parent is the caregiver for the child. He is the safety and security for the child. He, she, whatever. The parents are the safety, security for the child. And imagine if they are the ones who are destroying him. But even if one parent stands up for the children, it's not all lost.
Okay.
All is not
things
lost.
Can get
Yeah.
better.
All is
What
not
are some
lost,
of these things that the EFT that you say, is that something that a parent, one of those parents, can do for the kid as well?
We also have something called surrogate tapping.
Okay.
We also teach children how to tap.
Okay. And what is that?
Children can tap. They just need to thump like this and they
Just yell it out.
Yell it out, yes. So we teach small children to stomp their feet into that.
Okay.
So they take all their emotions out and they're fine.
Oh, is it?
So
Well, wouldn't that
of course, that is one of the ways.
But then would not that turn into a bad habit by any chance? Like,
no, they're
the
doing
kid
it safely with the parents.
Okay.
With the parent who's
With the
getting
parent. Yeah, because you see that a lot of times where the kids don't get a certain thing that they demand for. That's what the emotions that they throw. They start yelling.
No, this is a tantrum tapping. This is not tantrum.
So they can work it out that way.
Yes, and we also tap with children.
Okay, and what is the surrogatory tapping?
Surrogate tapping is when I become the child and I tap on behalf of the child.
But you're tapping your own body.
I'm tapping on myself.
Okay. And but can you also teach your kid how soon can you start teaching your kid to start doing
As
that?
you can tap on the infant.
Okay.
You can tap on the back of the infant, on the
Okay, you
spine
can
of the
start
infant.
doing it. No, but as a kid, like so,
As a kid, as soon as you can do it in front of them. Kids are like
they follow you.
copycats. They copy. So you just do like this, and the child will do like this,
Okay.
and automatically they'll get into it.
Okay.
And they release so fast. Within 15 minutes, they're done. Their session is done.
Because I guess it's not amped up into that.
Yes.
So I can start getting that.
Yes, because there are no layers.
There are no layers. हाँ, हमारे उसमें ऐसा हो गया कि we have piled everything up since childhood. You know,
So
some
we
lucky
remove
people have
one
gone
layer
to
at a time.
Yeah,
like an
into a
onion
relationship with a narcissist, and the person is now trying to heal themselves.
And if you come from a narcissistic home, chances of you getting a narcissistic parent are very high. Partner.
Oh, is it?
Are very high, just because you are used to the drama. Okay, narcissists are known for drama.
Okay.
They are drama queens or drama kings.
Just simply watch Big Boss and get it over with, no?
I wish.
But it's that simple.
I wish it were that simple. But
Okay.
whenever you call your partner a drama queen or a drama king,
They get bad.
dig deeper. Dig deeper.
But is it possible at a certain point that you have realized that you or maybe you feel that your partner is becoming a narcissist? Probably because it comes from their parents or whatever. They come from that particular home. Can you not have an open conversation with them and saying that, hey, I feel this is what's going on?
You call a narcissist and you've had it.
Maybe we cannot call them a narcissist. We can call them something else, right? They're like, you're going crazy.
You cannot call them out. You cannot call them out. That is number one.
Okay.
Because I've seen cases where a parent called the girlfriend of the child a narcissist, and the child went and told his girlfriend, and the parent was under the bus.
Oh wow! Okay, never share that with your kids.
Pardon? Never share that with your kids. Never.
Never say anything bad about your other partners, especially
their girlfriends or their partners. Yes, never do that.
Oh wow!
Because if they get to know, then you've actually had it. It's
okay.
As it is in a relationship, the mother is the first person they attack.
Oh, is it? I'm truly enjoying our conversation about narcissism. It's a very happening and intriguing topic. I think every single person, at least once in their life, meets someone or is around someone who is a narcissist. I feel the word has now started taking fire and coming up, like what it means and how it is, right?
If I may tell you something about RJ Spina. RJ Spina has I follow him, and one of his videos was on YouTube videos was on narcissism. And why do we have narcissistic people in this world? And he said 60% people in the world today are narcissists.
Wow.
And they are there so that we can grow, we can evolve. Today, I wouldn't have been in EFT, and perhaps anyone else wouldn't have been doing what they are doing had they not been pushed into it by some or the other narcissists in their lives.
Okay, so good way. I love the way that how you have put that into a very positive aspect.
RJ Spina did it. I attributed to him.
Okay, but quoting him that how you have said that.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, so even I feel that many of the things, if I look back in my life, the reason I'm better today is because probably because of that one particular
Yes.
That, because that person pushed me so much.
Yes.
And at that point of time. So let's get to the topic here, is where now you are out of that relationship. Because till now we were talking about that you are into that relationship. We're talking about that you're going through that relationship. How do you get out of the relationship? The person is now out.
Yeah.
Once they are out of that relationship, now they are scarred. Emotionally, mentally, possibly physically as well.
Yes.
I hope that physically it's less, but I think its worst way of getting scarred is emotionally.
Emotional. Yes. Those wounds don't show.
So once they're out, what is the first thing that they should do?
They should tap. Because tapping is one of the most gentle techniques to heal trauma. At least I have learned so much, and among all the techniques that I have learned, tapping doesn't re-traumatize you. Tapping you can do at your own pace, wherever you are, whenever you are. We teach you the techniques, you work on yourself. There are swap partners, you can work with each other. There's a community, you can work with someone in the community. So there's a lot of support that we give each other. So tapping, start tapping.
First
Heal
thing is
your
start tapping.
wounds first. Heal yourself first. Then only can you
Move forward.
move on.
Can they now still attract a healthy relationship because they have come out from such a bad and traumatic relationship?
You see, they can definitely move into a healthy relationship, but only after healing themselves to a large extent. Because if I am unhealed and I move into another relationship, I'm carrying the baggage of this relationship with me.
Okay.
The other person, like you rightly said, could also be carrying a baggage of his past relationship. So, do you think it'll work? It'll work, it'll not work.
So first you try to heal yourself
Yes.
and come out of that particular thing. You know, Seema, when you're into a very long and wrong relationship, I would want to call it, you tend to stop loving yourself. You know? The
Absolutely.
self-love doesn't exist anymore.
No.
You know? What's one of those things that we can do? Or let me ask you this correctly. How much self-love would be important while doing EFT?
Okay. This again, I'll answer two ways. One is, one has to love oneself. If I don't love myself, no one else is going to love me. That's one way of looking at it. But I cannot force myself to love myself. So while tapping, you automatically come into a space of self-love. But I do encourage people to, wherever they cross any shiny surface, just look at yourself and say, I love you. I love you, Seema. You are the most wonderful person in this world.
Okay.
So that initially it looked like a lie. But gradually you'll get used to it and you'll start loving yourself.
Yes, I love myself.
The other thing which I wanted to tell you about self-love is, as a child who's born, that child loves himself. They just love themselves. Look at them putting their toes into their mouth and everything else. But where did it go? It just disappeared along the way. And the example I give here in my trainings also is that a person, the mother is cooking in the kitchen. The child goes and pulls her dress and says that, Mama, see, I've drawn something so beautiful. The mama could turn around and say, don't you see, I'm cooking. So the child freezes right there. Mama doesn't love me. Later on, it could happen with friends. Friends don't love me. It could happen with teachers. Teachers don't love me. It could happen in a relationship. This person doesn't love me. What is the belief? The belief the child forms after all this is, I'm not lovable. So that is where it all starts, right at the childhood, from the age of 0 to 7. And when they come out of such relationships, we take them to those areas where they felt they were not loved.
Not loved, okay, or ignored.
Or where the belief was formed. The decision or the belief was formed.
Okay. Taking this part of not being able to be loved, right? A person coming out of a relationship, which is bad for them, a lot of time they are still in love with their abusers.
Yeah.
You know, is there a way to use EFT to untangle themselves from that toxic or narcissist relationship?
You see, when you leave a certain relationship, you still feel bad for that person. That I have left. Lord knows what's going to happen to that person. There's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of anxiety about that person. You still have some feelings for that person. Tap on yourself. As you keep tapping on yourself, you will get more and more clarity about the situation that you were in, the current situation. And then, at least I have seen that there's no way they can love the abuser. It was a trauma bond.
But what can they do? Like, can you
Tap.
say, like, while tapping, what they can say if they need to?
Look, if they, suppose today it's me, okay? I look at the situation and I say, okay, what does this make me feel? At the end of the day, it is all about feelings, all about emotions. I pick up an emotion and I tap on that. Like we tapped on overwhelm, pick up sadness, pick up guilt, pick up anger, pick up any of the emotions and tap on it. As you keep tapping on those emotions, you release them, there's a lot of clarity that comes into you.
And even if it's like, a lot of times people, when they're healing, I think they come across a lot of shame, anxiety, guilt.
Yes.
Anger is, of course, a part of it. but a
Yes,
lot of times
anger on self.
it's like it's very, very difficult to do that.
Yes.
So how can we gently be, focus on this part without being re-traumatized with that?
We have gentle techniques for that.
Okay.
And we also suggest feel the feeling and tap it out.
Mm.
So they can use tapping in any which way and get rid of their emotions, and gradually they will, I would say gradually for them, just because they're in a narcissistic relationship, you're lucky if you can get out in a few months. Otherwise it is years of traumatization.
Agreed.
And by the time, there is so many layers that it takes you time to get rid of it.
It's
To heal
either
yourself.
you come out of it yourself, or somehow universe makes some scenarios or situation that you have to come out.
Yeah.
That's the only way the universe really have to love you that
Enough
you were able to get out of
to
that.
pull you out of that.
Put
Yes.
yourself
And
out.
when you come out of that, you need to first heal yourself. Because definitely there's a trauma bond, and trauma bond feels like deep love.
Fair.
So you need, and when you sense that it's a trauma bond, you let it go.
Now, when you work with your clients, how does this particular situation work? Where a lot of times as energy healers, you tend to catch their energies. Right?
Yeah.
How do you take care of yourself? Do you also do EFT on your own self too?
I do EFT every day. That's one way. But while working with you, if you saw, even I was tapping. So I am also releasing something while you are releasing whatever you are releasing. Of course, I'm showing you the points, but I am also letting go of something.
Okay.
So that whatever you're saying is not affecting me.
Okay.
If I start getting affected, then I'm not going to be able to help you.
Fair enough. Okay, so it's kind of protecting your own self, and that's how you're keeping yourself grounded.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about that story that you were talking about. I would love to hear more details for that, because I think I think that story, once come out on the viewers, can really relate to it, because I think many people are going through that.
There's this person I know from some years, and he has put on a lot of weight, and weight, as we know, is emotional.
Okay.
I work with this person, and the person does not want to switch on his video. Why? Because he feels he is so fat and so ugly that if he can't look at himself in the mirror, how can I help him tap? So I tap with him with his video off.
Really?
He cannot love and accept himself. So we say, even though I have this problem, it is okay. I acknowledge that I have this problem. I acknowledge that the situation exists. We just say that much. Because the person is still not at the stage where the person can love and accept themselves.
Are there people like that, and they're going through that? Wow.
This is the first person I met who is not willing. I'm the practitioner. They're not willing to come on a video call with me. They said, Seema, you'll be scared to see me the way I am.
Wow. Okay. That is a lot of healing needed.
Yes.
There's a lot of healing needed. That's something. I mean, I can understand the fact that a lot of people, they go through a lot of traumas that they're not able to come out of the situation. I think that the wounds are so deep.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I have understood one thing, that even with me in my life, I have gone through situations which a normal human being, if they go through, they'll break down. I had also broken down. But I feel a lot of times getting the right mindset is also very important.
It is.
Being that way, like, on the contrary, I'll tell you that I started loving myself so much that whenever I brush my teeth, I have this habit. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm looking in the mirror, and I say, I'm handsome, I'm happy, I'm successful.
That's a lovely one.
I always looking at myself, and I always talk to him. I'm like, such a handsome guy.
That's so beautiful.
That is my thing. I look at myself in a mirror. I pass through a mirror. I have to see myself in a mirror.
That's so beautiful. If we don't love ourselves, no one else is going to love us.
Agreed.
And by love, I don't mean romantic love. I mean
it's
a general,
genuine love. It's a pure love.
Yes, absolutely.
Many times, very rightly said. A lot of times, people come to me as well. And they go like, help us manifest a special person. Help us manifest the relationship that we want. And I first asked them. I have a questionnaire, so I asked them. They're like, no. I'm like, why do you want this person? Because I want this person to love me this way. Good. Do you love yourself that way? No, but that's why I want the other person
Yeah.
to love me. I'm like, why would that person love you? Do you love yourself?
Absolutely.
Is that something you like? I don't like this freckle. Why? Part of your body, love it.
Yes.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Love yourself.
Yes.
So first, I have to make sure that they're starting to, my 8-week course is always about that. First 5-6 weeks, I only work on themselves.
Loving themselves. Yes,
First
it's
start
so
loving
important. It is so important.
Once you start loving yourself, then you can probably find the right partner for yourself. Because what happens is many times we come out of this bad relationship and we are looking for that person to heal us.
Yes, to complete us.
To complete us. I'm missing this. So most of the people that I've spoken to, I'm looking for a relationship. Why? Because I'm missing this in my life. That can be fulfilled by your own self.
Yes, absolutely.
Why are you looking for another person to come and fulfill that relationship for you? Now you're expecting that particular person is also expecting something for their own self.
So two baggages.
The two things are now clashing against each other. And you're
Absolutely.
like, what's wrong with you here, right?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that EFT can be such a simple technique.
Yeah.
And best part is that it's like you said, that you don't have to believe in it.
You don't have to believe it.
And you can still do it.
If you just tap without believing, also something is getting released.
Something is getting released. So that's the best part. And this is not some like random voodoo that came out. This is actually a Chinese medicine theory that is out there.
Yeah.
And it's been doing, I think it's very similar to that. I think the acupunctures that they do.
Yes.
It's just utilizing your own old self and the own techniques. I love that. I really love that. I would like to know you as a healer, you as an EFT practitioner. You have several programs that you run. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Like I told you earlier, every week, every Wednesday, I have a tapathon, which is for new people primarily, but a lot of old practitioners also join me, where we talk about what is EFT, how does it help you, what are the areas where it can work for you. And then we do a tapping sequence with everyone. So that is something that I do every Wednesday.
Okay, and it's a group thing.
It's a group thing, yes. And then I have my trainers meet a mentoring session. Because I'm a trainer of EFT level 1, level 2, certified by EFTMRA. I work with EFTMRA India. And here we have, the people I train, they need to be mentored for 6 months.
Okay.
So what I have done is every Sunday, I meet them between 10 and 11. So anyone who's trained by me, come, tap. Okay. There are breakout rooms, there are questions.
Okay.
The questions get answered.
Speak with each other.
And you tap on each other, have a session.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay.
The third thing that I'm working on right now, I've not yet launched it, is the narcissistic abuse or narcissistic warriors, as we called it. So empowering them. That is my program, which could be an 8-week kind of a program.
Okay.
Where there will be a lot of sessions with each other. There will be a lot of knowledge sharing. Like I will tell them things about about narcissism that they don't know. EFT will be one of the techniques that we use there, but there will be other techniques as well. So it will be an entire hand holding, a community for them, where they know they are understood, and it's going to be a completely confidential space.
Okay.
Where whatever we discuss there, in any case, in EFT, whatever we discuss there remains there.
Okay.
Doesn't go out of the room. So they get their own space to share what they want to share and to feel safe.
But is it the one-to-one session you're talking about?
No, these are the breakout rooms.
These are the breakout.
And I will also offer my one-to-one sessions at a discount. This program will also be pretty low cost. Just because I know that people who come out of those relationships or are in those relationships are financially destroyed.
Yeah, and it's fair enough. I can agree to that.
So I might as well keep the program at a low cost so that they can do it, they can heal themselves, and then if they want more healing, they can come to the training programs. There's every kind of support for them here.
Fair enough. Okay, that's very nice. And what we'll do is we'll put your website and your details in the description, so that people can reach out to you as well, and
they can keep an eye on it whenever this program gets launched in a couple of months from now.
You and see how that works out, because it's very important in this particular life. Because you know what I understand also, a lot of people feel that this can be like some kind of voodoo behavior.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need this,
Yeah.
we don't want to go through this. But the
Yeah.
fact is, if you don't do this, the next relationship that you're going to go through, it's highly possible is going to be toxic.
It could be toxic, or
And
you are
this
carrying
time
a
it can be
baggage.
because of you.
Yes.
This time it can be because of you.
It can be because of you, because you know the signs that you did not see. And even if the person is showing a percentage of that sign, you are
You're
going to
have the
freak
guards
out.
up.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was a bad idea.
Yeah. And a good relationship could go wrong.
Can go wrong. Yeah. And then sometimes what happens is, like, you get out of one relationship, you get into the second one, the third one. Every relationship that you get into, people come up to me and all the time tell me, they're like, oh, I get every single relationship I've been into is about a toxic relationship. Then there's something you need to fix.
Absolutely. You have not fixed the toxicity from the first
If on your
one.
own. Yes.
You didn't heal yourself out of the first one. So every one became worse.
Yes, no matter what happens.
You were just adding to the baggage, not
releasing
anything.
And many people I've spoken to as well, I've understood that they told me that this, I don't know how much this is going to help. I mean,
It's a
you're
very
not gonna know
standard
until you
question.
start.
Pardon?
I tell them that you're not going to know until you start.
Absolutely.
It's
a journey.
It's a journey. It's like, people, I don't know why sometimes it's funny that people don't feel, when I tell this story about me looking in my mirror and I tell how I look and all that, they're like, yeah, but you look good. I mean, have you seen Hrithik Roshan?
Yes.
Have you seen Shah Rukh Khan? If I'm going to start comparing myself to them, I'm going to feel that. I love myself is because the way I am, and I adore everything that I am. It's okay.
And if I make my mistakes, I'm okay with that as well.
You're okay. You have to make peace with them.
Yes.
A lot of time, I think this EFT can also help a lot of people where, if they're not able to forgive themselves, if I'm not.
It's a huge, huge help. Because when they come out of such relationships, there's a lot of self-blame. How could I not see the signs? There were red flags all over the place. I can't forgive myself. Forgiveness is such a huge thing. I'll give you an example of this person, my client, and I was tapping with him and realized that there was a sexual abuse. We know it happens with men as well, right? And then this person was very, very angry. I said, because the person was a practitioner himself. So I said, if you don't let go of the resentment that you're carrying against that person, it is going to cause cancer, because the primary cause of cancer is resentment. Even Louise Hay says that in her book. You cure resentment and you cure your cancer. So the person said, I had cancer last year.
Wow.
And while tapping through the entire session after that, the person, there was such a huge cognitive shift. The person said, that person was also my cousin. He was also exploring. That was such a huge cognitive shift. And then the forgiveness came organically. We did not have to force forgiveness. You cannot force anyone to forgive anyone, even yourself.
Correct.
It has to come organically.
Naturally.
And then that forgiveness came organically. So that was one of I was surprised the way it went.
That it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out this way. Like, the person is saying something like this about the person who abused you, and it was at the age of 15.
Can EFT be used to overcome any kind of addiction?
Yes.
It can be. Okay.
Yes.
So if somebody is into smoking or drinking.
Because addiction is also related to certain trauma. Why? Cravings, addictions are usually you don't want to feel a certain feeling. That is why you're craving that food. Or you want to feel a certain feeling, and that's why you're craving that food. Like with me, my father used to like to have something sweet after his meal.
Okay.
If he got nothing, he would put a few grains of sugar into his mouth. Okay. But he needed something sweet. I have that same problem. But that is an addiction I don't want to get rid of. So I'm not tapping on it. But if I want to tap on it, I know it's coming from there. I don't need to remember my father whenever I eat something sweet. I can disconnect them. I can remember him whenever I want to. But the moment I disconnect the two, I can eat my sweet whenever I want to, and I can remember my father whenever I want to. So that is how the emotion
is. The connection is. Okay, so they just have to tap on it. So while a person who's addicted to maybe smoking or drinking, can they think like, they're smoking or drinking. So tell me your technique here. Like, so whoever's watching right now and they're addicted and they want to do a tap on it,
Okay,
what can they do?
I'll give you an example of this lady who loved chocolate cakes. She was my client. She was abroad. And then when we tapped, look, this is something which cannot happen in one sequence. That's why I'm not sharing it right now. So during the course of our sessions, we went to a memory where she said that she used to go to her grandmother every Saturday and have and her grandmother would bake a fresh chocolate cake for her.
Okay.
So they were very happy. There was a lot of joy. So whenever she wanted to feel that joy and that happiness, she would reach out to the chocolate cake.
Okay.
So the moment we said, you don't need a chocolate cake to be happy. You can be happy without a chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is giving you nothing. It has got the simple ingredients and that is what it's giving you. So we disconnected the two and now she's not addicted to the chocolate cake.
Okay. So you just have to find the source.
The source.
Of why.
When you started smoking, what was happening in your life? Something was happening then. So we tap on that.
Okay.
It could be a negative, it could be a positive.
Okay.
Like in this case, it was a positive.
It was a positive. So, but you can still tap
even
on
with
kind of
the allergies and phobias sometimes. There was a lady who had apple phobia.
Apple phobia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because the family was sitting at the dining table and mama was cutting the apple and suddenly parents started fighting.
Wow. Okay.
She related the fight with the apple. So she would look at the apple and that scene would come up and she would
go crazy.
Freeze.
That's something.
Everything boils down to either an emotion or a memory. And a memory causes that emotion. If I think of that same thing, when I see the apple, I go into the same emotion.
Okay, so finding the source, at the end of the day, what happens here is like finding the source.
And resolving that.
It's resolving that. And they can do it themselves. If not, then they can take help of you.
They can take my help. Definitely, I'm there.
Okay. Today's conversation kind of got me to think that there's a solution for everything.
Yes.
Right? And that solution can be as simple as just tapping.
Yes.
You don't have to make it crazy. You don't have to go, climb a mountain or jump in the ocean or nothing like that.
No,
just
not
sit
at all.
in your room. Even while watching a TV, you can tap.
Yes.
That's all you have to do.
In a meeting. If you are in a meeting and you think you're getting triggered, just tap on your fingers under the table.
Nice. Okay.
If you can't tap, just press your fingers. No one knows what you're doing.
Correct.
But you're calming yourself. You
doing that, actually, I realized that I was in one of the meetings and someone was doing that. So I think
you see Neeta Ambani doing that when the Mumbai Indians is playing. She taps on herself.
Okay. So great. Yeah. Simple and effective.
Effective and very forgiving. You cannot go wrong with it.
You cannot go wrong with it. That's absolutely true. Today's conversation was very soothing, and I felt very calm because we did that overwhelming thing.
Yeah.
Tapping on overwhelm. Yeah. And I really hope that our viewers today were able to kind of get something out of this, and they can know that every solution is right in front of you.
Yes.
In form of tapping. We spoke a lot about narcissism.
Yes.
If you are into any kind of narcissist relationship, we know what you need to do. Either you can be stuck into it or you can fix it for yourself by utilizing a simple technique of tapping for yourself or for your family, setting a healthy boundaries and seeing how you want your future life to be. We have with us today, Seema. You can reach out to her easily by all the details that we've given in the description below. I hope that you had enjoyed today's session, that you have found that one solution that you were still looking for, where you were not able to sure that how you could have fixed it. Well, now you have it. It's up to you how you want to fix it. If you want to adapt to it or you don't want to adapt to it. Make sure to share this podcast with your friends and family who you think should watch and listen to this particular situation. And if you think they're going through this kind of particular situation, because this can really change their life, maybe they're not able to share this with you. And by this podcast, maybe they can help themselves or maybe take help of Seema to help, feel better about it. I would like to thank all of you guys who have stayed all the way till the end. I hope you have enjoyed the podcast. Follow us for more on Kabir Vani podcast on YouTube and on Instagram. If you like to listen to podcasts, we are available on all the major audio platforms. If you don't find us there, go ahead and leave a comment, and we'll make sure that we reach out to you there too. Till next time.